Howdy, how y'all doing today? My name is Dennis Jones, and you're with me at the Bryan Museum. We're going to talk a little bit about the history of Texas and Texas history. Everything in this museum has a story to tell, and I'm going to help you learn some of those stories and maybe discover some stuff about your own self that you never really knew. Why don't you follow me this way? Something you're not going to find too much of in a museum, but I want to talk to you about before we go too much farther, is to think about things in a different way. I want to ask you what the world would be like if we didn't have grass. Think about it just a second. If we didn't have grass, you wouldn't have sugar from sugar cane. You wouldn't have bread as we know it. You probably wouldn't have any big grazing animals, so there goes cheeseburgers. Milk would be difficult to obtain because it usually comes from those grazing animals. So not only no milk, but no ice cream. Oh man, what a horrible world. But grass is also important to humans because without grass, we wouldn't have started villages. We wouldn't have started towns. We wouldn't have started states and then created nations. We'd still be hunter-gatherers because we hadn't domesticated grass. Once we domesticated the grass, then we could domesticate animals. And then that means we didn't have to roam around to hunt for things anymore. And when we didn't have to roam around to hunt for things anymore, that's when the villages and the cities and the states and the nations became. Our civilization, to some extent, is based on grass. Every single culture, every single place on the earth had a grass to help nurture it and grow it. But it even goes beyond that. Because you see, without that small, silly, insignificant grass that covered at least a third of the United States or North America at one point in time, stretching from the Appalachian Mountains to the Rocky Mountains and from the Arctic Circle all the way down, gently bending into the coast of Texas. Well, there's your grass.